Good morning, class. Welcome to MDA131 Communications. I have decided to record this class intro. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen so that we can go over the syllabus. I'll also go over the project presentation that you guys will be assigned during the course of this particular class, 131. It's creating a brochure. It's also presenting the brochure to a mock patient as if you were explaining the topic of choice, which we'll go over that. So let me just go ahead and get started here. Share my screen. So again, MDA 131 Communications. We are, give me 1 second, sorry. Okay, sorry. We are basically using, as we have been, the medical assistant book, going over the range of professional communication skills that are expected of you guys as medical assistants and just in general professional healthcare, or excuse me, healthcare professionals rather. We will be covering the topics of medical terminology, cultural sensitivity, both verbal and nonverbal cues, effective listening practices, how to present in body language that you are listening effectively to your patient, coworkers, peers, that type of thing. We are going to be using a combination of lecture, demonstration through the presentation. So we'll definitely need some student participation. There won't be any lab class per se for this particular class because it's just we're working on your presentation. But however, if you need to come on campus to access the labs, excuse me, the computers in the computer labs, then you are always welcome to do that. But there is no assigned lab time for this class. Now, with that being said, there is assigned lab time for us to do our pediatric exams for MDA 141, as well as our OBGYN exams that were also part of MDA 141 that we just completed. So as you look on the schedule, and I'll go over that, you will see the days that we will be in lab class, which will start next week, Tuesday the 16th and Thursday the 18th. And then you will see later on the calendar the other dates for lab classes if there's any scheduled. So I'm hoping to be able to get them all done by next week. And then there won't be any necessary additional lab classes to be scheduled. Okay. So course requirements, obviously, as usual, be in attendance. Remember, a completed assignment equals attendance credit assigned for that day. This is why I'm always telling you guys it's really important you do not jump ahead on assignments. Only do what is scheduled and assigned for that day. Because if you jump ahead and do assignments that are coming up the next day, then you don't have anything to do that next day, then you don't get attendance credit. I have to give you attendance credit based on what is completed that day. So you log in daily, you complete an assignment equals attendance. Okay, so if you have any questions in regards to that, please see me, because I am still seeing, and I've said this before, how important it is to only do what's assigned that day. And I'm still seeing people jumping ahead. So please make sure you're not jumping ahead, because then I can't give you attendance credit for that next day. Make sure that you are actively participating in the discussion boards, which you have to do in order to receive full credit. Make sure you're participating in the lectures as we do breakout rooms, asking questions, debating topics, kind of like we did yesterday in lecture for pediatrics. I thought that was great when we got on the topic of immunizations. Also participating in the presentation. I'll go over how that's going to be graded. So it's really important that you guys follow along with that. And then we'll go over it again in lecture on Monday when we meet for chapter 4 lecture. Make sure that you are receiving, or actually make sure that you understand that in order to pass this class, you have to receive a minimum of 77% grade average in order to pass this class, go on to the next sequence. Or if you are a senior going on to extern, you have to pass with a 77% or higher in order to do so. So if you feel that you're struggling with the content, please see me as soon as possible. Let's arrange some tutoring time so that we can make sure that you do pass. If there's ever a time based on certain scenarios for examination makeup, the policy is you need to be communicating with me in advance if you're not going to be able to complete an assignment or complete an exam, so that after you you return the day after, and are able to complete the exam, you need to be able to communicate with me ahead of time, not after the fact or during the fact that, oh, I forgot about an exam, or I forgot about a quiz. I understand that things come up and I am always willing to work with you guys, but you have to communicate with me beforehand. If that does happen where you do have to make up an exam, just understand that there has to be a 10% reduction on your earned score for it being turned in late. Method of evaluation for this class: your quizzes are 25% of your grade, assignments are 20%, PPS is 10%. Your portfolio project is the biggest percentage of your grade, it's 30%. So you really got to make sure you hit all your goals on this, all the expectations on this. And then of course your final exam is always 15%. Okay, got to meet that 77% or higher in order to pass this class. So our objectives for this class is to be able to define and apply standard communication terminology as pertaining to the medical field. We'll discuss the importance of effective and appropriate communication in the healthcare field as well, understanding how to interact with patients for successful outcomes, discussing your role as an MA when it comes to keeping that day-to-day confidentiality when you're interacting with patients, understanding that you can't be in breach of sharing their personal or their personal health information, excuse me. Want to be able to identify and demonstrate skills of an active listener. That's the most important part of communication. It's not talking, it's actually listening. There's different therapeutic communication techniques that we will go over as well. We will also discuss telephone communication, proper etiquette for that, how to address certain communication situations when dealing with angry or distressed patients and coworkers. I'll even add to that additionally, and providers, probably more so than coworkers. Okay. How to communicate with terminally ill patients and their families, how to be empathetic when it comes to communication as well as sympathetic. And then of course, just having a level of understanding when it comes to what the patient is going through and how we can support them. All right, so this pretty much covers the course syllabus. I want to go over the calendar really quick so you guys can see for 131. Starts today, Friday the 12th. You will have to turn in Chapter 4 Learn Smart before midnight. So make sure that you get that submitted in by 11:59 is the cutoff date. You'll see that on your due date in Blackboard and Connect. It'll say due by 11:59. So make sure that you get it in there before midnight. As we get in further into the class schedule here, we got lab class to make up for, not to make up for, but to just continue knocking out our lab classes because we got behind when the campus closed for that 2 weeks. So we'll be following up on those. And then we will continue with Chapter 15 lecture, as well as Chapter 55. And then we will be doing our exams on Tuesday, the 23rd, which is the end of the sequence. And we say goodbye to our externs. We wish them well. We're excited for them. And then we go on to the next sequence. So let me just go to the course content here really quick so you can see. Excuse me, that was a burp from my grandson, AJ. You'll see your portfolio project folder is always going to be there so that you can be able to view the patient education ideas that you're going to base your brochure off of, then you're going to see the project description to be able to view that, as well as the grading rubric. So make sure you're hitting all of these points, and we're going to go over this step by step. So let's start here. And as this pulls up here, AJ says, make sure you guys get it all done. Okay. These are the list of patient education ideas that you can select to create your brochure off of. So I'll point out just a few of them. I'm not going to go over all of them. Wound care, self-breast exams, as well as self-testicular exams, giving injections, caring for sutures after they've been, sewn up from a laceration, how to collect a clean catch midstream urine, how to perform breathing treatments at home with a nebulizer, how to use an EpiPen if they have, allergies like anaphylactic shock allergies to certain foods, post-op and pre-op instructions, how to perform an at-home pregnancy test, and how to properly use crutches are just examples of topics that you guys can select from. So like I said, this will be viewable to you guys throughout the course, so you'll be able to select that. You have to select your idea and turn it into me by midnight, before midnight. So by 11:59 on Monday the 15th. You can email me or text me and say, hey, Ms. J, this is what I've selected for my topic. Here is the description of the portfolio project. And as I open this up, we'll start here at the beginning. So it says you're required to do a patient education project as part of this class. As an MA, you will be required to educate patients on various topics. So you got to be able to, before educating the patient, educate yourself. You want to feel confident about the topic that you're going to be discussing and educating your patient with. So understanding the information before sharing it is really important. So pick a topic to educate your patient. It has to be something that the patient will have to do at home, okay? Your project is going to be presented as a video and uploaded on YouTube. Directions are to follow here. You have to have a creative introduction and ending. Allow time for questions for your patient. So after you've explained, you want to end it with, do you have any questions? Let the patient gather their thoughts for a second. If they don't have any questions, great. If they do, make sure you answer those. And then always, say on the back of the brochure is our phone number and hours of operation. If you have any additional questions that come up later, please feel free to always call us, okay? You must have at least one visual aid for the audience. This is not including the pamphlet brochure itself. What this means is you need to have basically props in your video, okay? So if you're doing the how to collect a urine sample, you need to have a urine cup, right? Get creative at home. A regular cup is fine. If it's an at-home pregnancy test, then obviously you want to use props for that as well. You could go to the dollar store and they have at-home pregnancy tests for $1. Okay, so just make sure you have props of some sort, whether it's pictures, actual, equipment or supplies of that sort. Okay. You are required to present the presentation step by step as if you're teaching a real patient who has no idea what you are talking about. You are going to submit a video in place of presenting in front of the class. Again, you'll need to upload that video on YouTube, then submit the link to your video within the portfolio project submission folder, and I will show you where that's located as well. So how to create a YouTube account, or I'm sorry, how to upload your video to a YouTube account. You need to create a YouTube account first. Very simple to do. Just go to YouTube, sign up, okay? You want to use your Google account, your PIMA. Email is associated with Google, so you can use that. Then you upload your video to your account, and then you are going to just basically copy that link and then apply it to the area, the folder where it states portfolio project submission. I will go over that with you guys again on Monday so you can see it in live view, okay? There's no time requirement as long as your presentation is thorough. So it can be as short as, well, let me be careful with that. It can be as long as you want, but make it a minimum of at least 5 minutes, okay? Nothing shorter than that, okay? You have time every day to work on this. Again, if you need to come to the computer lab, you can do so on campus, but you're also welcome to do it at home. Make sure you rehearse your presentation, be familiar with the subject and using your props before recording yourself, because you want to look fully prepared and confident. Not like as if you don't want to be reading word for word off of your brochure. So go over your brochure, rehearse your presentation so that you come off as someone who's knowledgeable in what they're educating to the patient. Okay, so remember, this is going to count as 30% of your grade. Don't think you can wing this or make it up as you go. It will not work. So spend some quality time on this project. All right. You also need to upload a copy of your completed brochure or pamphlet into the portfolio project folder as well, in addition to the video. So it's both the video and the document. Okay, so make sure you save that as a file on your computer so you can upload that as well. Remember, just as any projects, they are always assessed for plagiarism. No more than 25% plagiarism will be accepted for a grade. If it's more than 25%, it's an automatic 0. So make sure that you click the little box, and I'll show you here in a second where to click that, so that we are able to basically score your amount of plagiarism. But all in all, have fun, be creative, and this project is due by, oh, that says May 29th. It is actually due. Let me go back to the calendar here. It is going to be due on Monday, the 22nd. I will change that in the content so you guys can see that. I will also put it on the calendar, but it's going to be due Monday, the 22nd. Okay. So make sure you upload it by, I'll put it in the schedule. I'm gonna look at this a little bit closer and see if I can give you guys allowed time, because I have to have grades in by 1 p.m. on Tuesday. So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of working on it should be plenty. Let's have those presentations uploaded by noon on Monday the 22nd, and I will add that to the schedule and also put that in the presentation folder as well. 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so let's go back to the presentation or the project folder here. Here is your portfolio project submission. You are going to click on this to submit. Okay, 100 points possible. I do have it here correctly, but instead of before the start of the class, I'll change that to by the end of class at noon. Okay. Here is how you're going to attach your files, both the document and the link to your YouTube video. You can paste the link to your YouTube video in here, but make sure you upload the file for the actual document there. You need to click this button, this little box here for the plagiarism tool. It says that you agree to submit your paper to the global reference database. So click this before submitting. That's really, really important, or else we can't use that database to calculate the percentage of plagiarism. So for those of you that don't understand what plagiarism is, it's copying and pasting from the internet or an actual book. So make sure you use your own words, okay? So again, I will put it in the calendar, the actual due date, just to reiterate, it's gonna be Monday, February 22nd by 12 p.m. is the cutoff time. Okay, so I'll have that updated for you guys. I'll also put that in the announcements. And that concludes the class intro. Thank you very much for your time. We'll see you Monday, February 15th at 10 a.m. for lecture. Thank you.